Did say that we'll be exploring parallel play, so we'll be taking a look at ways parallel play can strengthen your relationship. Some common misconceptions about parallel play in relationships and how couples incorporate parallel play into their daily lives, and what are some benefits of parallel play for mental health and well-being. My guest needs no introduction at all. Leigh Joy, global award-winning dating and relationship coach, and also a friend of mine. Leigh, lovely chatting to you. I hope you're good. It's been forever. Are you well?
Oh, Thabo, I wish I was there to give you a hug. I'm so good. It's so lovely to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're here, Leigh. But listen, what is parallel play? Every single week, I feel like people are inventing new terminology in relationships. How are we going to keep up? Leigh, what is parallel play for an idiot like myself?
So imagine when you were 3 or 4 sitting in the sandbox next to your friend at school, and he or she was playing with a truck and you were playing with a spade. And research has shown that that we actually are highly stimulated and creative when, as children, we weren't actually engaging with each other, but we were playing next to each other. So creativity increased. Our productivity was also really great as young people, and also when we're having fun, it bonds us in a different way. So parallel play as an adult would look the same, maybe not in a sandbox, although it could be fun. It's looking at, like, maybe it's not actually engaging in the same activity. So like cooking together isn't parallel play. What would be an example? Like in my past relationship, I would paint watercolor and my partner would play music. So we'd be hanging out together, but we wouldn't be doing something together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we had a connection problem of about 2-3 seconds. Do you want to come back again and say you would be doing? That's where we lost you.
So one would, oh gosh, I'm sorry about that's one thing that Zoom is tricky. So let's say you're cooking together, that's not seen as parallel play because you're both working on the same project. But as my ex and I used to do paint and he used to play music. So we're sitting together in the same environment or the same vicinity, but we're not doing the same practice or exercise, but it was deeply bonding.
So I don't want to be pedantic or petty about this, but maybe explain to us just a little bit more. How far apart do you need to be for it to be considered parallel play? Can she be upstairs and I'm downstairs in the living room and she's upstairs in the bedroom? Or does it need to be just a few meters away within an eye shot?
Yeah, I agree with you, Thabo. I think we need to be within eye shot of each other because then it's still a sense of togetherness. I think if one's out of range, then it can be. I don't think then it's seen as parallel play.
I see. So just a few meters away from each other, but you can see one another very well and you're sharing the same space. I could be reading and she could be on her iPad or knitting, and I don't want to overly emphasize gender stereotypical roles here, but I'm just giving the very simplest examples. Or cooking. I could be cooking and she could be reading, and that's considered parallel play.
Yes, I'm going to put myself out on a limb, Thabo, and say that if we're both on social media, that is not parallel play. Play for me has got to do with something creative. So I'm not sure that I would even say reading would be seen as play. It's really about being in a creative space but doing it together. So maybe gardening could be one, and the other person is playing music or painting or writing poetry or whatever. But for me, it's about play. It's about getting out of like with my coaching. I offer people to help them create a balanced self-care protocol or practice. One of the holistic program that I use is called SPICES, and that stands for an acronym of spiritual, physical, intellectual, and creative. C for creative is a very, very big component of helping people to live a balanced life. So in this space, I've had couples that are like, shoo, where I asked them, what did you do when you were a kid that just took hours away? You couldn't believe that the time had passed. And the one client said to me, you know what, drawing was something that I really loved doing. And then I asked his partner, and I think she enjoyed knitting or crocheting or something. So again, I'm just using this as an example. I obviously work with all sorts of gender type of relationships, and then they would sit together. He would draw and she would crochet or knit, and they never spoke to each other. It necessarily. It was about quiet play, but being in the same vicinity, and that silence can be very nurturing when it is a chosen silence, if that makes sense. It's a agreed silence. So there's 3 types of silences that one, there's intrinsically motivated silence. These are silent moments chosen because partners enjoy being together, without needing to talk. So that intrinsically means within. Then there's introjected or externally motivated silence, and this is silence driven by guilt or pressure or obligation. That's where you talk about she or he gave me the silent treatment. So it's more of an uncomfortable silence. And then the third type of silence is a spontaneous silence. And this is the silence that occurs naturally without any conscious intention. And there you'll often hear people say, oh, it was so cool. Like they were driving in the car together and it was really wonderful to just be able to sit in silent, comfortable silence.
It's the activities for me, Leigh, that I also need to somehow clarify just a little bit. And again, without being too facetious about it, could I be braaiing and she could just be sitting there and, I don't know, doing something? Or does the activity entail or should entail physical involvement, like you said, not social media, perhaps not listening to music. It could be that maybe she is doing a boiki while I'm braaiing and we like next to each other. Do those, I'm trying to find other examples so that it's a bit clearer in all our minds.
I think we must take people's interest into consideration. And I think the idea is not necessarily what the activity is, so much as it is about the intention and the energy that we want to bring to our relationship. So the intention is we're going to hang out together. We're not going to necessarily engage with each other or feel like we have to engage with each other. It's not like we're going to ignore each other, but it's really about being engrossed in an activity together, but not necessarily the same activity. So hence
chores
parallel
don't count,
play.
Eh?
So no. Well, I don't know. Some people enjoy cleaning the house. I know sometimes I do. When I'm angry and I'm like, I've got to go clean the house then. So I think it's more about the heart. Like it's about saying, hey, I really enjoy spending time with you. I want to deepen our connection, but we don't necessarily have to be doing the same thing together. I mean, I guess one could be watching TV, I guess, and the other person could be reading. That could be 2 different, but, you know, the one sitting in the dining room and the other's in the lounge and they can see each other. So I don't want to be too prescriptive about what that looks like or what those roles or activities could be, because I think that people must, you know, lean into what their own interests are.
Sure. When we come back, Leigh, I'd like us to explore how that enhances joy in a relationship, but I'd also want us maybe to touch on how fulfilling that could be in that particular silence where you do not feel compelled to say anything funny or anything meaningful or anything thoughtful, but just in that what does that silence do for the two of you when you are there together? How does it really enrich you? That you are in great company without any pressure, but you'll tell us more about it. It's 18 minutes after 11 o'clock. You are on 702.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
22 after 11. Thanks very much for joining us. You're on 702. Thabo in for Clement. Thanks for being with us. I'd love to hear from you here on Relationship Focus. This feature comes every Friday, and Clement speaks about all issues that have got to do with relationships. Today we're looking at parallel play. If you are unfamiliar with it, our guest Leigh Joy just explained to us that it would be an activity undertaken by a couple. Both of you are in the same vicinity, in a room or an open space, and you are doing different things, and there's no awkward silence about it. Whilst you are perhaps busy on your laptop, he's reading or doing whatever it is, but that silence is very comfortable. It's warm. It's not too tense. It's not tense at all, and it's not awkward. So it's called parallel play. I'm just wondering, from your side, what has your experience been? Sharing time with your partner and you're not necessarily talking, there's no verbal interaction, he's doing his thing, you're doing your own thing, but you're loving it. It's a comfortable silence, the space feels good, and there's no pressure to say anything, and that's exactly where you want to be. You don't feel like, oh, he's so quiet, I'd rather be with my friends having some drinks at whatever outlet, at a restaurant. How does that space work for you, and how does it enhance your experience with your partner? Or do you always need engagement? When you're with a partner, you must be talking about something. Oh, when are we going to paint the house? And the children, oh, remember last week this happened. Do you have the need to fill that space, that silent space, with some element of verbosity? I'd love to hear from your 118830702. Parallel play. We learn new things every day. So I'd love to hear from you. Does it ever occur? Do you ever engage in a parallel play with your intimate partner? 011-883-0702. Alternatively, send us a voice note on 072 702 1702. Leigh Joy is my guest, global award-winning relationship coach, and she is here to educate us about that. Leigh, I was just saying, please expand a bit about parallel play and its effects. What does it really do in that silence? Are you exchanging vibes? Are you emitting some particles of love? I suppose you'd also need to be in a good mental space to be doing that, Leigh.
Few things that they reckon are outcomes of parallel play. Excuse me. And the first is it helps to each person within the coupleship to find rest in each other's presence. And the second is it encourages the individual growth within the relationship. There was a study, Thabo, done in 2024 that was published in the Motivation and Emotion. And they looked at the role of silence within relationships. And researchers specifically wanted to explore how silence in romantic relationships affects the emotions and the relationship quality, and whether the motivation behind that silence makes a difference. And they looked at those three silences that I spoke about: intrinsically motivated, the one that we choose to be silent; then the externally motivated, where we're frustrated and doing we're being silent because we're frustrated, or the spontaneous silence, which is just that natural silence that happens between us. And they used they used a variety mixed methods to do a cross-sectional survey on the role of silence, these types of silence within the relationship. But they looked specifically at the intrinsically motivated silence, so the chosen silence, right?
Yes.
And they looked at diaries, personal diaries, to track silence and emotions. And they did experimental designs where they were manipulating conditions to see the effects. They also measured various outcomes. And what they found was that intrinsically chosen motivated silence was consistently linked to more positive emotions and less negative emotions, which created a greater closeness and a higher satisfaction of psychological needs within the relationship. So this makes parallel play equally or significant to understand the role of creating close connections and healthy connections. I think that when we offer each other the opportunity to just be in our own skins together, choosing to be quiet and choosing to do our own activity, not because we're choosing to ignore the other person, but we're also identifying our own needs as important and our own self-care as important. And when we do that together, we offer each other the beautiful opportunity to be able to grow and nourish ourselves within the relationship.
Do we need to do parallel play by appointment?
I love that. I mean, it could be spontaneous and it could be by appointment. I don't think either. I don't think either is more important than the next. But I mean, I think, it could be a special kind of date activity where we're not.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, a date, and where you say, "Hey, Leigh, let's go out on a date," but it would be parallel play, my place, your place. I'll be doing this, and then I'll have my paintbrush, and then you can bring, I don't know, whatever it is that you need. And in that way, I suppose, does it assist you to slowly warm up to the concept of parallel play?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's is it called Clay Cafe, where you can go and choose a piece of ceramics, and then you each choose your own ceramic, and you paint the ceramic. So I think that's like a form of parallel play. Or like you've got those sip and paint events where you paint and sip wine, but you're together you're playing next to each other but together, if I can put it that way. Yeah, I'm excited by it because I in my relationships before my last relationships, I never practiced parallel play, and then in my last relationship we did, but we were both creative, so it was a little easier. But it definitely brought us closer together, and it was and it had its own element of fun.
I remember vaguely, long time ago, in one of my relationships, I remember vaguely something like that I'd be reading a Sunday newspaper, and she would be, I don't know, doing something else, and we'd be quiet for over an hour, and it wouldn't feel awkward at all. There's something edifying about that, and there's something that says that I'm in a good space. There's no pressure for me to say or do anything other than just be me in the space without judgment. And I'd like us to talk about that when we come back, Leigh.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
26 to 12, Leigh Joy is my guest. She's a global award-winning dating and relationship coach. On Relationship Focus today, we are looking at parallel play. What role does it play in your relationship? Do you ever have just quiet moments with your partner? He's doing his thing, you're doing your thing, and yet it doesn't feel uncomfortable. And this concept of parallel play, can we make it a norm where we just say, hey, let's go out on a date, but it's going to be parallel play. We'll go to this place, my place, your place. I'll do my thing, and then you can do your thing as well. We'll just be quiet together and let our hearts do the talking instead. Leigh Joy, thanks again for being with us. How rampant is this, and where did you get it from, Leigh, this parallel play? Is it somehow rampant elsewhere in the world, or are these just morphing and evolving phenomena of relationships as time moves?
I read the article, it was a Forbes article that I read, that alluded to this form of play, the parallel play. And interestingly, I'd been practicing it with my ex. In my ex relationship, and I saw the value in it. And for years, I've been encouraging people to look at a creative side in their lives, and I often found people that came to see me that were feeling very unbalanced and burnt out and overwhelmed by life. There were two aspects to their lives that they didn't have a self-care practice in. The one was spiritual, and the other one was creative. So this idea of parallel play is very important. I've seen it in my own life, and I've seen it in the benefits of it in my clients' lives. But I think we can take it to the family as well, right? Or like a brother and sister, or a brother and a brother could play next to each other, or a mom and a son. It doesn't have to only be couples. It can be in family settings. And playing a board game is not parallel play, because you're all playing a board game. But if mom is knitting and the daughter is writing poetry and the son is building Lego, that's parallel play.
I'd love to hear from you. 072
stereotypical examples.
No, don't worry. I fall victim to that all the time as well. 0727021702. I'd love to hear from you.
Hi, Thabo. I am absolutely loving the topic. I do believe in that. At first, me and my partner, we would find it awkward to just be there and be quiet. However, as time went by and we got to, get used to each other, I found that I actually enjoy just being in silence. And it's not even awkward, hey? It's about observing each other and just knowing that your partner is there. We could have a long drive to wherever, but just that squeeze of a hand, just glancing at each other, we could just remain silent for, 30 minutes could pass. But it's good.
Very, very interesting. Leigh, I wanted to ask about, I love that voice note, by the way. Thank you so much. I keep them coming on 072-702-1702. Leigh, I wanted to ask about the time frame. Can it somehow reach a limit where you're thinking, man, we've been quiet for so long. This is getting a bit uncomfortable. It's now going to 3 hours, 24 minutes, 13 seconds of silence. It's way too long. Is there a time frame to it?
I think when one partner feels like they've had enough, I think it's important to reach out and say, "Hey, when do you feel like we could reconnect?" And I have the invitation to the other, and the one may be totally engrossed in something that they're doing, and they'd say, "Listen, I need another hour," or what, and then the other person can go, "Okay, let me go phone a friend," or go have a coffee with somebody, or go and self-care and nurture in another way. But I like your question. It is important to be able to touch base and check in with each other when you've had enough.
Yeah, and perhaps have a safe word for parallel play.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, sure. 011-883-0702. Let's take a voice note, Abel.
Very good morning, 702 and the team. Yeah, very phenomenal topic indeed. Yeah, Mr. Thabo. Parallel play is the stuff that I mostly resort to, with my partner. The most route that we normally follow in terms of this particular concept is the fact that we will go out to a sport facility in which one will participate in terms of playing tennis, whereas other is participating in terms of golf, but that in the same sport facilities, this is Maxwell and team.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. And I am just thinking here, Leigh, that you could go with someone to the zoo and just have parallel play there. It doesn't need to be confined to a home space, is it?
Yes, and I like that the listener spoke there about one playing tennis or one playing golf. I did think that you'd need to be in the same space, but if I think about it, no, you don't actually have to be in the same space. You could be doing two different activities. I think the thing is, if I really understand the nub or the crux of parallel play, it's about saying, I honor you, I honor me, and I honor us. And let's do something that's fun, that we're not necessarily doing together, but that creates intimacy and longevity and connection within our relationship. The intention is not like, I'm going to go play golf, you go play tennis, because that's not parallel play, right? That's but yeah, the intention is that we're going to have fun doing different things, but together.
Yeah.
If you know, different things,
072?
but yeah.
Yeah, 072-702-1702.
Hi, Thabo. I am loving the topic. And, me and my daughter, actually, I didn't know what this is called, but I do it a lot with my daughter. And I always wondered, there is a sort of comfort where she will just come into my room and find me doing my thing, and she gets into my room and continue with whatever she want to do, whether scrolling social media or whatever. But we are not talking, but somehow it feels like we are together, but we are not talking. And I never knew what that is, and it always gave me comfort to say, no, we spent time together today and we didn't really do much talking. So I'm glad to find out what it's called. Thank you.
Anytime, platonic,
Thabo, I'm just thinking.
Parallel play. Sorry, Leigh, go ahead.
Sorry, Thabo. It's a bit trickier online for our listeners, because normally if you're in person, I can see that you're talking, whereas online we don't have that opportunity. So if we speak over each other, please, listeners, be compassionate.
Sure.
I'm just thinking about my daughter. She came to sit on the couch with me the other night, and I was like, oh, thanks. And she was on her phone, and I was busy. I can't remember, watching TV or something. And I was like, oh, it's so nice to have you here. And she was like, no, I'm here because there's no Wi-Fi in my room. so it was like almost like
it is not parallel play.
Parallel play.
Forced, yes, circumstantial parallel play. No, and now, Leigh, perhaps this may sound to others, and I'm saying this in quotes, artifati, wherein some people may think, oh no, there they go again. But what does it do to the spirit? Because we are composed of various elements as human beings, and I'd like to believe we're not just the physical that we often present, obviously, in the world. There's the psychological, there's also the spiritual. I'm just thinking, you could be entering a room and you would feel negative vibes, and you enter another room and you feel positive vibes. The other would be neutral, I suppose. But to what extent does parallel play speak to that spiritual element, the unseen, I should say, so that I don't sound like a pastor? What does it do to the unseen element of who we are? That whilst Leigh is busy with whatever, Thabo is busy with whatever physically, the unseen part of them is really sitting next to each other and holding each other, and just perhaps the vibrations and the ambience is oozing of love, of care, and of consideration.
Such a great question. So one of the reasons why I really encouraged my couples to, parallel play together, create together, like cooking or gardening. The power of creativity and the connection to the spirit or spiritual. What makes creativity so powerful is that we kind of sidestep our intellectual capabilities, and we allow, I believe, the spirit of creativity to move through us. And there's if you take clay, for argument's sake, I love making ceramics, and I'll have an idea of what I want to make, but in the end, what I actually make is not exactly how the idea that I had. And the creative process for me was the spirit coming through me to create something really beautiful. So I do think there's a tie between play and spirit and creativity, a very important part, where we can silence our minds and really engage in something that fills the spirit and touches our hearts. So I think that it is about getting closer together in a couple, in parallel play or in families, but it's also about connecting deeply with ourselves. And through that self-care practice of deeply connecting with ourselves, I think then we're able to authentically connect with others. And I think that if you bring in the element, invite the spirit of a spirit of sacredness into the creative. I think it's just such a remarkable. I don't even think I know. I've experienced it many times over. Just a remarkable opportunity to heal and become more at peace with ourselves.
I was also going to ask, I'm going to go to a voice note right now, but I meant to ask, to what extent can parallel play perhaps but deal with those issues that are in your relationship that are often very difficult to resolve verbally? And despite your intentions to want to do that, you've battled over this, and perhaps parallel play can really contribute, even if it's just a grain of help and solution towards that problem, and soothe out all those issues that perhaps have been a difficulty in your relationship.
Great question. I've often seen that couples that I work with can get into a toxic cycle of arguing with each other. And I found they, at times of parallel play, that a toxic cycle gets arrested, and there's a space and a gap where they can put down their weapons of mass destruction and just find some peace within themselves and offer each other a compassionate space of silence with love, to just recalibrate and reconnect to themselves and give each other space to do that, but remember, from an intrinsically motivated space. So it's like, I'm choosing to be quiet, not to punish you, but because I feel like I need to just connect to myself and just recenter myself, and I'm offering you the opportunity to do the same, so that after our play, we can engage with each other from a more meaningful and loving space.
Let's take some voice notes on 072 702 1702.
I must say I'm surprised it has a name, because my husband and I do it all the time. I just didn't know it was a thing and it had a name to it. So yeah, I guess I would have thought that it's probably simpler for people who are just generally quiet, like me and my husband. We're not loud people, we're not talkative people, so we don't talk all the time. So there'll be a lot of instances, in fact, where we are together but just chilling, and he's doing his own thing, I'm doing my own thing, but we're together in the same space. So yeah, surprised to hear it's a thing.
Good morning, 702 Landers. Oh, so that's what it's called, parallel play. Interesting. Big ups to my partner and I. We are parallel playing most of the time, and it is indeed beautiful. Thank you, Leigh Joy.
Yeah, I just find it very fascinating. Feel free to send your voice notes and your messages to 072 702 1702. Alternatively, call us on 011 883 0702.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Yeah, it's a thing. Parallel play. You heard it first on 702 with Leigh Joy, the global award-winning relationship coach, my guest right now. And a lot of people have been asking, what is parallel play? What is parallel play? There we go. Just spending time with your loved one without saying a word. You are both consumed by your own activities. You are preferably within the same space, in the same vicinity. And she's doing her thing, you're doing your own thing. There's no fight. It's not silent treatment. It's not avoiding each other. Actually, you're loving it that you're quiet, that you can do your thing, your self-care individually. So that's what it's called. And a lot of people are saying, we didn't know it had a name. Neither did I. Up until Leigh Joy informed us so astutely about this parallel play. Now you can go have dinner tonight with friends and say, hey, my partner and I will be having a parallel play session tomorrow. And no one will know what you're talking about. 011-883-0702. 072-702-1702. Let's take a voice note.
Wow, what an amazing topic. I just realized this is my family dynamic. It's how I brought my kids up. We've been practicing parallel play for as long as I've had them. And we actually miss it when we're not together. We look forward to that quiet time together, but individually, So we're not very talkative people, but that closeness of just being in proximity with each other, it feels like a warm blanket. It feels like home.
I love it. I really love it. Leigh, can you then now add, if you are looking for someone and you're single and you are on a dating game again, can you say, I'm looking now for a parallel player?
This is a godsend that you're asking this question. I'm actually busy putting together singles events, paddle singles events. So you'll definitely be parallel playing with someone. So please touch base with me on 079-525-8991 if you want to hear more about parallel playing in the paddle field. And then Thabo, if I can please have an opportunity just to say that I've got a few dates available for any MC gigs that people are looking for the end of the year. I really love MCing. It's such fun to bring a room alive and to help people really engage with and celebrate the organization.
Yes.
So I have got a few dates left.
Yeah.
I'm sorry just to jump on you, but I thought I'd just use the opportunity just to say that I have got a few dates available for any MC gigs that people are looking for.
And people would also want to know, Leigh, about if you offer a service perhaps to help them, especially with parallel playing, getting into it, because a number of couples, many of them out there, are socialized to believe that when we're together, we need to be talking or else there's a problem. Are you able to help in that regard and offer advice and counseling in that regard, that silence can also work? And perhaps it could be that you're single or recently single and you're looking for someone who would have characteristics of a parallel player.
Absolutely. I've helped couples to identify activities that they could use or do in parallel play. I think a lot of people don't do it because they don't know what are the fun things they could do together. Or like we've seen with the listeners, there are people that do it, but they don't know what the term is. So, I think it's really, I'm glad that we could have this conversation today, Thabo. I think it's really important for families and couples to be able to parallel play, to deepen their connection, create intimacy, and also have fun. I think life is very serious. There's some major issues going around in the world at the moment. And I think that it's very important that we find time to have fun. I went to Joni Petty's book launch this week, and she was talking about the 3-3-1 that she does every day. And it's 3 gratitudes, 3 stones or things that she absolutely has to do that day, and 1 fun thing. So I think that if we look at 1 fun thing every day, it can be a really great pressure cooker release. And if that fun thing it doesn't have to be something we do individually. It could be something we do as a couple or as a family.
And lastly, Leigh, Can you learn to become a parallel player?
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe in the beginning it might feel awkward if you've never done it. And then just to breathe through that awkwardness and to have a conversation about it. You know, maybe the first time you guys do talk a bit about it and say, oh, this feels uncomfortable. And so you just share your feelings, and then it could probably drop into a deeper space, and then the silence that you choose would be something intrinsic. But as we've listened to the listeners call in today, how they love the topic and they love the parallel play that they are doing. So those that are not practicing it, I'm really grateful to be able to have this conversation. If people need help with it, they're welcome to contact me. But it's a beautiful thing to be able to enjoy with somebody.
We have 10 seconds left. Leigh, your numbers again, where people can reach you?
079 525 8991.
Leigh Joy, Global Award-winning relationship coach. Thanks very much for speaking to us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.